Om Shanti and welcome back to an all-new episode on Light of Knowledge. We have a very special guest with us today, Sister Maureen Goodman from UK. She's the Program Director of Brahma Kumaris in UK. In addition to that, Sister has conducted many workshops and conferences as an outreach program for prisoners, women welfare, interfaith conferences, value education, to name a few. She has also conducted workshops on themes of personal development. Let us all welcome Sister to Light of Knowledge. Om Shanti, Sister,
Om
and
Shanti.
Welcome to a special episode on Light of Knowledge.
Thank you very much. I'm very pleased to be here with you all.
Sister, our topic for today is going to be meditation for very busy people. And this seems to be the need of the hour because wherever you look, people are like running around,
Yes.
stressed out, and busy with their work. So before we start going into the details, I'd like to kind of ask you, just for our viewers out there who are not familiar with meditation, if you can just give us a brief insight on what exactly is meditation.
Thank you. And as I said, very nice to be with everyone.
Thank you.
And yes, just as it seems everywhere people are running around and there's stress and tension, as you mentioned, I think now everywhere in the world people are becoming aware of meditation and its benefits.
Right.
And I think this is a very good thing. And meditation is actually very simple. When people hear the word something, or is it something mystical that you have to do, or you have to sit or stand with a certain posture. But actually, meditation is something of the mind, something that you can do naturally with your mind.
Okay.
Because the mind thinks, right? That's its task.
Yep.
So meditation is really about directing the mind
Okay.
in the direction of your choice.
Okay.
It's about generating the thoughts that you choose, that you would like, that will uplift you, that will benefit you, the people around you, rather than your mind always being influenced by the many challenges and situations that are around us.
Okay. That I believe is a very important definition, because a lot of times people are not aware that in order to meditate, the mind comes into the picture.
Yeah.
Way back when I started to meditate first and I was not introduced to the Brahma Kumari meditation, I did not have this connection that, mind and meditation. So it's very good to know that the focus is on the mind here.
Yeah, and the mind is, we all know how powerful the mind is,
Yes,
right?
yes.
In terms of a disease, now many doctors, of course, are very aware that many things are psychosomatic in origin. We know the influence of our kind of thoughts, and along with those, the feelings, the emotions that they generate, the effect they have on the organs in different ways. And so the mind is very powerful. Any invention has been created by somebody's mind. If you have a powerful, determined thought, I'm going to do something, you can do it. On the other hand, if you tell yourself all the time that you're no good and you're useless, well, how do you feel?
Right.
What's your state of mind? How do you function? So the mind is really, really important.
Okay.
And in meditation, really the first step is to use this power of thinking to take us to our original state of peace. So we really want to touch that wellspring of peace that is inside of us.
So the primary focus of meditation obviously is to touch the inner peace.
Yes.
And how do we do that? Because the mind, as you just said, is thoughts. And there are like a zillion, I'm not exactly sure they say maybe 40,000 thoughts per minute or something like that.
I don't know who's ever really counted them.
Exactly. So how do we focus, or how do we channel our thoughts to getting to that point of peace?
Yes, very good question. Actually, to channel your thoughts to that direction of inner peace. And of course, when we say peace, we say inner peace, because that means it's a peace that is coming from within you, that isn't dependent on the external,
Okay.
which is a very important factor. But to do that, I do need some understanding.
Okay.
And I do need to begin to look at how I perceive myself, who I am. And of course, as I said earlier, if I am putting myself down and in a way believing that I'm really not good enough or I'm not good as others, that's how I perceive myself. That's going to be the pattern of my thinking.
Okay.
So I need to begin to change that self-belief.
Okay.
And of course, people invest a lot in identity. And their identity is in, what they wear,
Right.
culture, education, wealth,
Right.
all
Right.
of that.
Right.
I am somebody because,
Right.
and people are very busy trying to be somebody,
Right.
actually, aren't
Right.
they?
Yeah.
And so when we meditate, we look at our inner identity
Okay.
that is, in a sense, greater than all the things we do and all the roles we play in life.
Is it possible to be at that level? Because, like you said, in this time and age especially, we really are identified with our roles, our position, our status, our bank balance.
Yeah.
And if you lose any one of that or more, people just collapse. There's an identity crisis. Here, there's all this chaotic world, and here, what you're telling us is this peaceful world. So how do we isolate ourselves from this world to come to this world?
Yes, you're quite right. It's difficult because people are very dependent on those external identities.
Okay.
So it takes a little bit of courage to say, I want to think about myself differently.
Okay.
I want something more for my life.
Okay.
And I think once people begin to see that the life they're leading is not actually bringing them fulfillment and happiness. Now that's a very important step.
Yes.
To be honest enough to say to the self, actually, is this really what I want?
Okay.
I know somebody who's been in business many years, and he said to me, I've spent my whole life climbing up the ladder, only to realize that I've climbed up the wrong ladder.
Wow, what an intense realization.
Yes.
Wow.
So really, he understood I've developed everything externally, but what about internally? There's a vacuum,
Right.
so I need to do something. So when you have that kind of realization, then you say, okay, let me start on a different ladder or a different
path.
journey, a different path. And so that's where you say, okay, whatever has happened up to now is fine.
Okay.
But what do I need in the present moment?
Okay.
And can I give myself the space to begin to experience that? And it actually doesn't need a great deal of time, but it actually needs the intention to do it.
Okay, that's very well said. That's a very important point, because that kind of pertains to our topic for today, is meditation for busy people.
Exactly.
And people who are listening will exactly say the same thing. If it sounds like I have to make this complete shift, is it going to take a lot of time? And I was also wondering about this example you just quoted. At least this person realized that, I was going up the wrong ladder.
Yeah.
Many times we don't even know. We're just running, not even realizing that we're going up the wrong ladder. So I would say that is the first step, to understand. And in order to get that understanding, do you think there has to be some kind of like a major situation in your life that probably brings you to that understanding, or?
I mean, we're all individuals. It happens different ways for different people.
Okay.
For some people, it is a personal crisis that happens,
Okay.
or something that happens in the family or whatever. And they say, okay, what is life about now? Okay, now I have to begin to think differently. Or, it's just a natural progression. This is the next, for some people, this is the next phase that I need to come to.
Okay.
And perhaps just the fact that people are tuning in to this television interview,
yes, for sure,
is a sign that people are saying, okay, what else can I do?
Right.
Is there something more that I have
Exactly.
to learn about how I can live my life? So it happens in different ways. But actually, this thing about time, when we're very busy, then we have to look at how we're using our energy. And sometimes we're using our energy in a way that is not the most efficient.
Right.
And when we take a little bit of time to be with ourselves, even if it's 20 minutes a day, half an hour a day, I mean, you can easily spend half an hour a day, chatting with somebody, having that extra cup of coffee or whatever it is. Right. But taking that time for the self can actually help us to use our energy more efficiently and actually saves us time.
Oh, okay.
And that is something that I found.
Okay.
Because at one point I thought to myself, actually time and thoughts are so closely connected. They're like almost the same thing in the sense that if you're very worried and your mind is not focused so well because of that, and we all know what that's like, including me, then a task that could take half an hour sometimes takes you 2 hours.
Right, because you're not focused.
Because you're not focused, because you're not using the energy of thought. Thought is our energy. And if my mind is focused and clear, I actually get so many things done, and I say, how did all of that happen? But it's because I was present and I had focus.
Actually, you know what? This just brought a lot of clarity in my mind, because I had heard this before many times, that meditation actually helps you save time, but I did not make the connection between the two. But the way you explained it right now, it makes a lot of sense.
There's a connection between our thoughts and our breath and our energy.
Thoughts, our breath and energy. Okay.
So, if you have stressful thoughts, how's your breathing?
It's like,
it's shallow, right? Yes. And then energy in the body is also going to be less. If your thoughts are calm, breathing is deep and it's quiet and you have more energy.
Okay.
So it's all absolutely connected. Athletes would also tell you that.
Right.
So many athletes actually now more than ever focus on what's happening in the mind just as much as what's happening with the body. There has to be the physical training, but if the mindset isn't there, then you can't even use your physical prowess in the best way possible.
That's very true.
So the two go together so closely.
That's very true. Didi, there are so many different styles of meditation out there, and I know that at Brahma Kumaris, you primarily focus on Rajyoga meditation. So if you could please talk about that, and also how the busy people out there can take advantage of this style of Rajyoga meditation.
Sure. I myself have been studying Rajyoga meditation for over 40 years, actually. So it's been a lifelong practice, almost.
Right.
And I think what's important about Rajyoga meditation is that it's not only just about using the mind and how we direct the mind, but it really is going into the depth of spiritual understanding. And as I mentioned, the first understanding is of the self. Going into the depth of my spiritual identity. So yes, I have all the roles that I play, I have all the things that identify me in the world, and other people identify me as that. But actually, when people think about me, or we think about other people, you actually think about the kind of person they are. And that's on the inside. And so here we're now in Raj Yoga looking at the inner being. And Raja means the sovereign yoga. So it's about becoming the sovereign of the self. And that's only possible if I understand myself deeply.
So what do we mean by understanding ourselves deeply?
Sure. The inner being. We would say, okay, in answer to the question, who am I? Rather than all those external things, we would say, I am a soul. Now, when I first heard that, I thought, it's so simple and it's so true. I focus on being, that being. Now that takes me away from all the external props and dependencies. And as I contemplate on that, I begin to experience the inner qualities of the soul that are actually constantly with me, but they've become buried because of all the busyness.
Okay.
And those qualities are qualities that we all share, every single human being or every single human soul on this earth shares. And I think there are no prizes for guessing what those are. Of course, first is peace. Then love. Then truth.
Okay.
Then happiness.
Okay.
Then strength.
Okay.
Inner power. Now, when I begin to access those qualities inside, and they begin to guide my life,
okay,
rather than all the external influences guiding my life, then I can begin to be a self-sovereign.
This sounds very powerful, but at the same time, I'm trying to sit here and visualize, like, yes, I'm a soul and I have these qualities, but how do I access them? I mean, going within, that's a journey, but how do I get to that?
Okay. Yeah. So first, the understanding that the soul is light, right? Energy, spiritual energy, which is different in nature to the physical energy of the body.
Yes.
Soul is light. The soul has a focus in the body, here in the center of the forehead.
Okay.
People talk about the third eye.
Right.
Every faith has rituals connected here.
Right.
It's actually the seat of the soul itself.
Okay.
And so when we first meditate, we actually visualize that point of light in the center of the forehead.
Okay.
And as you visualize it, and as you contemplate on the original state of peace of the self, in fact, visualizing it and simply saying to the self, very simply, I am a being of peace. I, the soul, am a being of peace. And as you do that, it's like the other awareness begins to fade away and you really become that light and you come into the experience. Of course, it takes practice. Right. For some people it happens instantly, which is really beautiful. They just get it because it's actually a shift in consciousness that's happening. Right. Consciousness from the body, outer world, external, outer consciousness to
the inner consciousness.
We call inner consciousness or soul consciousness.
Right.
Once that shift happens, it becomes easy to access my inner qualities. But I need the understanding and then that little bit of practice to make the shift so that I then am able to access those qualities inside.
Okay.
And I know for me, a very important quality to access or to experience is truth.
Truth.
Because I want my life to be guided by truth. Because I feel that makes me strong and enables me to have strong values in my life and to use wisdom in my life. Because too often we say, yes, I have good values, I want to be kind, I want to be honest, I want to be, respectful towards others. But if we come up against a situation which is very difficult for us and we can't tolerate a person, a situation, our values become compromised.
Okay.
So we lose the love and get angry, for example.
Yes.
You can have many examples.
Yes.
So that's why I feel that quality of inner truth can give me the strength to guide me.
Okay.
But the other aspect of Raj Yoga, of course, is that one is connecting with the self, my real inner being. The other is connecting with the source, connecting with the divine.
Right, right.
And once I begin to make that connection, because once I'm soul conscious, as we said, it's like I'm operating on a different vibration.
But Lily, you talked about, we have to access our inner qualities. And you also mentioned that in your case, it was truth. And the other qualities will automatically follow. is this the case for all the qualities? Like, say, for example, I may be interested in the quality of love or the quality of peace. Will that also be all right to focus on any single quality and then the other qualities will follow?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. It's just a question of what is more meaningful to you.
Okay.
But actually, at different times, we focus on different qualities.
That's
and
true
we
too.
need all of the qualities.
Yes.
We can't have one without the other because we are a complete being.
Right.
And to function in life as a complete being, to make a difference in the world,
Right.
we need all of those qualities.
So it's okay that today I focus on peace, tomorrow I take up truth, day after I take up happiness.
No problem. But what
Okay.
happens though is when you're experienced in meditation, you tend to live by all the qualities.
Okay.
Which I know may sound a bit complex, but I'm soul conscious, I'm calm, I understand, I can see clearly what needs to happen, I see how I need to move through life, I understand my purpose, my life has more meaning, and so actually all the qualities are there for my expression whenever I need.
Okay.
And so it really makes a difference. My personal life, at home with my family, at work, and of course in the wider community and the world.
Okay. Didi, thank you so much for sharing this valuable information with us. And we're not done yet because I think we need to take this up in another episode because we have, a lot more to know how to condense this form of meditation for busy people. So we look forward to having you back with us in our Godlywood studio.
Thank you very much. It's been great to be with you. Thanks.
Didi very beautifully explained to us today the different qualities of the soul, and that being the first step to Rajyoga meditation. We go within and we seek out those qualities which are our innate and true nature. So we're looking forward to continuing this discussion and getting more, going into depth and how this meditation can benefit a busy lifestyle. So stay tuned until the next episode. Take care and Om Shanti.